Vulcan. One of her corgis is even called Vulcan. Well, I'm told it's actually a Dachshund Corgi cross, otherwise known.
Here she comes from our left.
So look left and behind, and here she is, the wonderful Avro Vulcan XH555. All Vulcan. A piece of paper dating from 1946, when Roy Chadwick, the man who designed the Lancaster, first drew that shape. And that was only 5 years after the Lancaster flew. That's about roughly 10 tons of payload, and it was the longest bombing raid in history at the time. It was as far as going from here to one of the refueling specialists who was on board the aircraft, that they very nearly missed their last rendezvous. The member kitchen in the Atlantic said he'd never seen a Vulcan with so little fuel in it still flying. Seriously, nobody ever thought they would see a Vulcan fly again. But through the excellent services of David Walton, who bought this aircraft at a whole load of spares and took her to Bruntingthorpe, and another man, Dr. Rob Fleming, they got her airborne again. It took till 2007 to get her into the air again, and it was the most complex restoration to flight of a military aircraft there's ever been. So when she first flew again in 2007, she made herself ready for a display season in 2008. And the famous Vulcan effect was born when airshow organisers began to discover that if you had the Vulcan at your show, you increased your gate by something like 20%. And to keep her going still costs £2 million a year. There you are, that's the famous Vulcan howl. I don't think anybody quite knows why it happens. It's to do with the air intakes and those engines buried deep in the wings and two engines sharing one air intake. But it varies with the weather. You don't always hear it, but we heard it today. Rolls-Royce, AD Holdings, BAE Systems, EADS, Goodrich, Judd Power, Kearsley Airways, Meggitt, Messier Doughty. And some amazing contributions from Eddie Forrester of Aerobytes and Sir Jack Hayward, making outstanding contributions in the thousands of pounds. But mostly, as I say, from the great British people, from you. So please do go and visit the Vulcan Marquee, which is off to the right in front of the American Air Museum, not far from the static F-15 that's out there. Please do go and see them, perhaps join the club.
Over its Allison engine predecessor, and those took place 70 years ago this year. Over the threshold then, Dave Southwood in the Fighter Collection's P-40B Warhawk. Downwind. DC-3 as an airliner. Jet-assisted takeoff bottles for operations in the far north of Canada, above the Arctic Cave, from Mark Miller himself, the display pilot of the Dragon 3. Meanwhile, the RAF Sea listening not off on a shout, just departing the watership. Do give them a wave as they turn to go over the hedge. aircraft. The Polish Air Force has them as trainers for its transport fleet. And of course, unable to take off again because its starboard engine has failed. It taxied for 90 minutes to get away from the Dutch coast. At midday the following day, that 0810A was shot up by Messerschmitt Me-262 jet fighters and abandoned. The crew took the... There's no doubt that being a shareholder brings with it many benefits because this aircraft displays all around the world, and this year as far as Russia.
We often talk about aeroplanes being iconic, and I think that this particular aircraft, with that big barn door of the wing, the shape of the hull, certainly to describe it as...
I remember seeing a three-ship neck display at a show here many years ago, organised by the old Flying Machine Company. And we can't wait to see them on the circuit with the three ship, but the two looking absolutely beautiful. The Yellowjacks having been the forerunners of the Red Arrows, formed initially in 1964, the Reds followed up in 65, and of course a pilot with a great connection with Duxford, the late Ray Hanna, is a name hugely associated with the Nat from his time on the Red Arrows, including his 4 seasons as leader. 5A. 1917. The D5 that preceded it suffered many structural problems. That led to the D5A coming about with heavier spars and extra steel tube brakes.
It's worth remembering, of course, that shotguns simply trying to shoot each other.
They hope to fly again, and it is Kermit Weeks in the Albatross D5A. This is the 3rd Albatross D5A to fly of the replica run produced by the Vintage Aviator Limited. Kermit has one himself. He's been flying it quite extensively in Florida. He's hugely been enjoying his trip.
Quarter clover to the left, pulling up to 6 degrees of pitch, rolling to the left. We're using a new type of smoke oil this here, Ondina oil. We've used diesel in years gone by, but it smells disgusting, it doesn't do you any good. So now he'll push out, head out to crowd left. He'll be building up some energy to rejoin the team later on. So the team have now demonstrated their ability to fly past the crowd in very large formations, and the larger the formations, the harder it is. So they said, as you turn the aircraft to certain formations, bit of evolution to get the show you've got today. Here comes the bomb burst. Aircraft all spinning down to 5 points of the compass. If you look on the horizon, you'll see Aerostar 6, Dave Borman. He's diving down in for the leader. As he goes up into the smoke left by the rest of the team, he's pulling up into a vertical roll. To the right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. It's the Aerostars 2012.
Always very much, it's an honour to be able to be here with the aircraft today. It is the first time that we are showing the aircraft at an air show outside Norway. We just got
the airfield can see the T-33 has shut down. We've just heard from the tower that they're hoping to resolve whatever problem it is to be